one of the things I want everybody to do while we're out walking along is I want you to look at different kinds of plants, as well as clouds and birds and everything else. One of the challenges I often put to the vet students when we're walking out is, first one to find a native plant wins. Because most of these plants are not native to North America. Most of these are things that were introduced from Europe. So clover and most of these grasses. It's called orchard grass. And this is in flower. So if you look here, all these little white fluffy things, those are the stamens, the male parts of the flower that have the pollen. And grasses are wind pollinated. So for those of you who are suffering from allergies right now, this is probably one of the denizens that's doing this, Dactylus. And we should see how many kinds of grasses we can find today, because my guess is that as we go around this field, there's probably something about 100 kinds of grasses. Think about grain. Think about things that we eat. What are some grains that you can think of that people eat? Rye, corn, wheat,
oats,
rice, oats, barley. They're all grasses. So the vast majority of human food and domestic animal food comes from one family of plants. Sunflowers are sort of complete flowers. They'll have male parts and female parts all in one basic flower. In this one, composites are considered to be very highly evolved flowers. They're quite recent in the fossil record. And what you've got here is it's almost like a superorganism. It's almost like a colony of flowers that have, I hate to use the word decided, but over evolutionary time come to live in a dense colony. And we've got two different kinds of flowers here. We've got the central yellow ones that are called disc flowers. And then we've got the ones on the edge that produce, these aren't actually petals.
Oh, they're not?
They're called rays. They look like petals. And those are a different kind of flower from the disc flowers.
You mean there's two flowers in there?
There are actually probably about 400 flowers in there. Think about a sunflower. Okay? There's your classic composite flower. When you get a head of sunflowers, okay, how many seeds does it have in it? Hundreds. Tons, and they're arranged in little spirals. It's really cool. Yeah. But each one of those seeds comes from a separate flower. And so the thing that you see as a big sunflower is actually a sort of a superorganism of 1,000 little flowers that, it's almost like a coral reef, that are living together in a commensal kind of a pattern.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. And so each one of these is like a sunflower. Every one of those little things in the middle, every one of those little yellow specks is going to produce a separate seed. Think about a dandelion.
Yeah.
Same thing. Now in a dandelion, some composites like this have both disc flowers and ray flowers. Some composites like a dandelion only have ray flowers. Some composites only have disc flowers. So you can have different combinations of things. But this is called fleabane. And it's called that because it keeps away fleas.
Oh, wow.
You know the chemicals pyrethrins that you buy as insecticides? Well, they were originally isolated from composite flowers related to fleabane.
Oh, wow.
And this was put in animal bedding to help keep away ectoparasites like fleas and mites and ticks.
So if you planted that, you could keep fleas away from your
It would help. I'm not going to promise it, but sure, yeah.
Wow.
This is a group of plants that are called bed straws. And they were brought over from Europe as bedding for domestic livestock. And they've got tiny little white flowers that have 4 petals and 4 stamens. They're really pretty little flowers, but they're itty bitty if anybody wants to look at them.
I've never seen that one before.
It's all over the place. And there are many species of bed straws. like a familiar kind of a leaf to anybody? Carrot. Yeah, it looks just like a carrot. And this is the leaf of Queen Anne's lace, which is the ancestor of our carrots.
Oh.
And when we get down to where the soil's loose here, we'll dig one up and you'll see that there's a little white carrot at the end that are quite edible, actually. You have to be careful with things that have parsley-like leaves, though, because most of the plants that are related to Queen Anne's lace are poisonous.
I'll be digging anything up in the back.
Yes. Another one is poison hemlock. That killed Soccer, that tree swallow there on the wire. He's letting us get pretty close on that top one. Oh, there's one on the left too. Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, I like the iridescent shine.
So those are neotropical migrants. They migrate from here down to Central and Northern South America for the winter.
Oh, really?
And they weigh a little over an ounce. But tree swallow. It's in the genus Silene. And so these are, they've got this big bulbous, the fused sepals under there where the ovary is going to be. And it's just a pretty little flower on the waste ground and the edges of fields and things, called catchfly, with opposite leaves. And there's a number of species related to this that we get around.
So is this just one flower?
That's one flower, right. Okay. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's actually got petals and sepals and things. This has 5 white petals, but each white petal is divided almost in half. And so this is a group, it's in the pink family. You probably have pinks in your garden or something like that. And this is a group of things that are called chickweeds. And some of these are native and some of these are introduced. This is what's called lanceolate-leafed chickweed. It's got, if you look at the stem and you look at the leaves, there's no hairs on it. And the leaves are sort of long and skinny and grass-like.
No hairs on it?
Yeah. See, there's no hairs on the stem or on the leaves.
Okay.
Like it's not fuzzy?
It's not fuzzy, exactly. Okay. Yep, thank you. And so this is one of the chickweeds. And we get 4 or 5 different chickweeds around here. Almost all of them have white flowers.
What eats chickweed? Anything?
I think the seeds are inconsequential. I think it's a vegetative plant. There are a lot of insects in here. Now this is an introduced exotic pest. This is multiflora rose that was introduced from China into this country, 150 years ago. Enjoy the diverse stuff that can grow in your lawn. I think that we don't need to have completely green lawns. I think more biodiversity with dandelions and chickweeds and other kinds of plants is a much healthier environment and will encourage a lot of interesting animals to live in there, and we can use fewer chemicals. So it would be a great way to be.
Thank you very much for that wonderful environmental tip of the day. And by encouraging natural plants, you encourage natural wildlife, which is so fun to watch.
With Dr. Pokras, and it's so fascinating to learn the importance of plants and animals, how they're important to each other. So thank you so much for watching Animal Adventures. Until the next time, have your roll!